This video is all about my Just Dance cosplays and how I make them. I'm going to show you guys some behind the scenes photos and videos of how I made 365, Judas, Levitating, and Good Ones. This year I was even lucky enough to collaborate with the Just Dance team to help preview Good Ones coming to Just Dance 2023. But please keep in mind I am so not professional at any of this and I make it all up as I go along. Most of my cosplays are made from very basic sewing skills, EVA foam, and a lot of hot glue. So if you want to know how I make some of these bad boys, keep watching. Okay, so these are the images I was sent by Felix, the community developer for Just Dance, to create the Good Ones cosplay. I also worked with Ben, who is the character and costume designer lead, and here is the sketch I created from those images. This is where I started at with all my materials, and then you can see I create custom patterns from clothes I already have, and that is how I created the leotard over on the right there. And then this is the final shot of the wings. So I'm going to show you how I made those now. With some EVA foam, I glued some black glitter on top and then painted in the gold areas before I put the gold glitter on top of that. And you can see here how they turned out. Super sparkly.
So pretty.
Yes, very pretty. Okay, and then this is a time lapse on the right of how I made the boots. So on the left there you can see where we started. I had to create the wedge heel, so I just hot glued some EVA foam into that space, which you can see there. And it could be a little bit messy because I knew I was going to cover it with the gold fabric, which you can see me doing on the right. So to do that, I would just hot glue down the edges and then stretch it out and hot glue it into place. And you can sort of see comparison of before and after there. And then for the rest of the gold boots, I just sewed some of that same fabric into a tube that I could pull up my leg. Oh, that's just a progress shot, because I thought it was all coming together. Yeah, so you can see the rest of the gold boot there is just a separate piece of fabric with some elastic and the black lace at the top. And there you go, that's all I did for the boots. And then the choker is 2 gold earrings. I've hot glued some black EVA foam with white and red paint on top, and then just sewn some black velvet around my neck for the choker part. And then this is the beginnings of the skirt. So it's made from EVA foam strips, some wire, hot glue, and some tape. So you can see it starting to come together with the mesh and some black fabric there. And then there's the gold fabric as well. And here is a shot of the costume coming together a bit more with the leotard. Now has the gold ribbons sewn on top. We've got the skirt parts coming together. They're just attached with some Velcro at the sides of the leotard, and the wings are also just attached with some Velcro. This was a progress shot I sent to Felix, and this is how I made the wig. So it's actually 2 wigs. I used some donut buns, those sponges, and then the Gotta Be Glued hairspray and gel is great for cosplaying. You can see the progress here of how I styled it, and I actually hot glued those sponges into place, and I would have the hair pinned whilst it was drying. So you can see in the next shot how it looked a bit more dry, and then I think I put some gold glitter on top of that. And this is a very blurry shot of all of the components of the cosplay just before I started putting it all on. Alright, and this is a before shot before I put any makeup on. The whole process for the makeup is time-lapsed here. It took maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to get this right, just because I kept mucking up the eyeliner, and on a white base there's really no room for errors, so I had to keep going back and changing it and fixing it up. So you can see me doing that now with the black eyeliner. I just kept looking at the reference photo, trying to copy it as best I could, and you can see I mucked it up a little bit. The red lipstick is Ruby Woo and Lady Danger by MAC, and then I put some gold eyeshadow on my eyebrows and covered that in gold glitter, and then popped some false lashes on top. And as you can see, this costume really needs the gloves and the wig. It looks a bit yuck there. And then I asked Felix about her map. I hadn't actually seen the map before the game came out, except for this image, just so I could create a photo shoot, and this is what I came up with based on that image, and I think it turned out pretty cool. Lucky for me, it was around Halloween time when I was organizing all of this, so you can see there's fake cobwebs, a spiderwebby tablecloth that I've hung up on the wall, and lots of gold glitter, and some electric candles as well, and I think it turned out pretty cool. There you go. Oh, I included this shot so you could see my original idea was to wrap a glow stick around my arm, but the lighting was pretty terrible to get it to look glowy, so scrapped that idea and wrapped some EVA foam around my arm instead. And this is the final shot, and this is it next to the actual costume in the game. And this was the aftermath, so it's a big glittery mess, but I think it was worth it to get this next shot that you'll see of me blowing glitter into the camera. And yeah, I'm super proud of how it turned out, and I hope the team at Just Dance is proud of me too. Okay, next is Judas. This is one of my favorite cosplays I've ever created, and here you can see the very beginnings. So we've got some blue wigs, some blue pants, the leather pants which become chaps, and the jacket. This is some tests of how to actually get the hair to be the right color. So the technique I ended up using, which I found online, was mixing alcohol with food coloring of all things, and that seemed to work really well. And then I would put a bit of colored hairspray over the top once it was dry, and you can see just how many of these I had to make. There was probably over 200, but I definitely lost count. So I'd attach these to some fabric, and then that allowed me to attach them to this monstrosity. So this is just a cap. I took the brim off the cap and added some styrofoam cones to the sides. You can see I've just cut some holes in the blue wig, popped that over the top, and then started to attach the hair extensions to those cones. And there's a lot of hair involved. That's just a blue wig cut in half I put over the top. I just thought that would make it look a bit better. Then before and after a haircut, I don't think I'm going to be becoming a hairdresser anytime soon, but that's the final wig or headpiece, I guess. Alright, this is the jacket. So it started off as a big oversized shirt. I added a zipper. I took the sleeves off and altered them. And yeah, that's just the cropped jacket with a zipper there. I think it turned out pretty cool. And then I started adding the shoulders, which are just a layer of EVA foam and then some of the scrap fabric that I had from cutting off the bottom. And then there you go, there's the shoulder parts. I actually added some cardboard to make them a bit stiffer as well. And then studded the collar. And then the heart is some canvas material just hand painted with acrylic paints. Then I sewed that on. There you go, it's starting to come together now. Then I had to paint the thing purple. So this is just some metallic, like pearlescent purple paint, and I just attacked it and then added some hair. And there you go. It's just the chains that I needed to add after that, which I couldn't find silver chain. Can you believe? I had to spray paint it silver. Okay, I don't know what happened and why I'm so sunburnt, but I just started cutting out the chaps. So I just put the pants on and just kept cutting little by little until I was happy with the shape. Attacked them with the purple paint as well, and then started adding the hair. And the hair is just hot glued onto the sides there. And then we added some chains. Oh, I needed some more hair, so there's a few more extensions getting dyed there. This is me painting the blue pants. So they're hand painted just in the mirror with some acrylic paints. I ended up losing that singlet and the undies I was wearing because the paint soaked through, but it was worth it in the end. And then the boots are just painted purple here. And here is the final result. I think it turned out super well. You can see all the chains are now in place, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty darn good. This is the makeup, so I just copied this photo that you see in the middle. I think it turned out cool. And yeah, here it is all on, and I went around to a few places, took some photos. Here you can see some shots that didn't quite make the final cut, but this is the final one on the right there. And I found a place near my house that had a cool tunnel you see on Instagram there. I was very inspired. I thought it looked awesome and matched sort of the Judas map for the game. So super happy with how that turned out. And Ubisoft ANZ reposted it to their official Instagram. I wore the costume to Comic-Con 2021 in Sydney, and also sent the costume over to Little Sia or Avery for her St. Jude charity stream in 2022. And here she is dancing in it. I think she looks damn good in this costume. Never mind that all the hair fell off. Don't worry about it. Come on, dance with me. Alright, next is Sia Nova from Levitating. So the pink wig, I curled the ends with some hot rollers. I didn't want to melt it because it's a synthetic wig. So hot rollers, some hairspray, and some gel to hold it in place. And then the little doodad on the top of her head is EVA foam and fabric, hot glued, and then some little tabs underneath it to clip it onto the wig. So that's the dress that I made for myself. It's just gold stretch spandex material. And then I made this arm cuff out of EVA foam and paint. And you can see the main reference photo I used in the middle there. And then used a long purple glove, a gold bangle, and some gold fabric to finish off that side. So there's a few components to that glove. Then the boots I tried painting, thought it looked terrible, so ended up covering in a blue velvet material you can see here, and I thought that looked pretty fancy. And then the little flicky part at the top is just EVA foam covered in the same material. And then some gold hot glued on top. Oh, I had some boo-boos with this. I broke a sewing needle and actually sewed the boot closed at one point. And here you can see the boot coming together a bit more. Now the gold part around the ankle is sewn onto the top blue velvet part, but it actually isn't attached to the boot at all down at the ankle. So you can pull that part up and get access to the zipper. And then we've got some more gold fabric. This was a lot of trial and error. It looks very messy, and it was very messy up close, but as you can see, I just hot glued these parts onto the boot, and it was very tedious work getting all of this in the right spot, but I think it turned out pretty damn cool in the end. This is the other glove, so on the other side we've just got that blue velvet material down my arm, a blue glove and a gold bangle, and then the same process to attach the gold circles onto the blue velvet part as the boots. And then this was the only photo that included the gold booty shorts, which are made from the same material that I've been using for the dress and the circles, and then also you could see the necklaces in that shot too if you looked close. This is the makeup that I did, and then you can see me with the wig and the doodad on. And then this was a little video without the gloves. I body painted my upper body and then just had blue leggings on rather than painting my legs. It was a super hot day when I went to shoot this at Stockton Sand Dunes near my house. And these are just some test shots. You can sort of see it's looking pretty cool. It looks sort of out of this world even before the edits. But I edited the Sky Pink just because she's sort of alien-esque and I thought it looked cool. So I offered this costume to little Sia because it was confirmed by the creative director on Twitter that Sia Nova was created as a tribute to Avery. And you can see her wearing it at the launch party for Just Dance 2023. And she also wore this one for her St. Jude charity stream. And she looks so good in it. I'm so glad that she now has one. So 365 was my first ever cosplay that I ever made. So this is the headpiece and it's a cap with the brim taken off. The adjustable part has been moved around to the front. And then the foamy cardboard, it's really quite stiff material. I'm not sure what it is, but that black part I just would hold up to my head in the mirror and slowly cut away until it was the right shape. And then I've taped it onto the cap, hot glued it in place. And then the pink and the purple that you see is foam, also hot glued into place just to create a shell for the shape of the headpiece. Then over the top of that, I've added some metallic stretch spandex material. The bow is just the same cardboard and foam covered in the same sort of material. And then here's all the details added. So we've got some ribbon, we've got some fabric, just hot glued into place. There's some biro on the bow where I've just drawn the bow. And then the little sideburn pieces are EVA foam covered in material, and then I would stick them to my face with eyelash glue when I was wearing it. These are some swatches I got of different fabrics to try and get the right colours for the dress. And instead of a swatch of this one, I ordered a whole metre of this ugly purple fabric. So if anyone needs ugly purple fabric, let me know. And then this is the skirt starting to come together. So you can see I ended up using a pink metallic stretch spandex material covered with pink lame fabric. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, but that really gave it that metallic-y sort of sheen. And then it had a little cage skirt underneath. This is me sewing the bodice. You can see it's very messy on the inside. You can also see some of the accessories in the background there. And then this is the skirt, and up close it's very messy. We've got the ribbon just attached with some fabric glue on top. Alright, and then this is the bodice as it starts to come together. So it's separate to the skirt, and you can see for the skirt on the mannequin in this photo, there's an extra little petticoat to really puff it out. But the bodice here is just some more metallic stretch spandex fabric around the collar that's sewn on, the same sort of ribbon fabric glued into place, and then the sleeves are all gathered up around the shoulder so that there was plenty of fabric, and I ended up shoving a big piece of foam up into the sleeve that just sat on my arm and puffed up the shoulders. So you can sort of see, I think the foam is actually in place in the sleeves in this shot, but you can see the top and then the skirt coming together. So it's just an elastic waistband around the skirt, and then that would sit over the top. And then these are the boots. So same way that I made the Good Ones boots, I just stretched out the material and hot glued it into place. And then the bows are just some scrap cardboard and foam, hot glued and shaped, and then the fabric just went over the top of them as well. And then these are all of the accessories, the extra bits and pieces. So I've got a choker there with some hand sewn buttons. The gloves are up the top. You can actually see the sketch that I did. So I've always done sketches just to break down the components of each cosplays down in the bottom of the photo. And then on the right hand side, we've got the knee cuffs. So that's EVA foam, some elastic at the top, and that same material just sewn into place. And then the elbow cuffs are just the material sewn because it was quite stretchy, so they held in place without the elastic. So I wore this outfit to 2019 PAX AU down in Melbourne, and I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out. The only other part to add was the leggings, which are just some pink leggings I bought and then hand sewed the green material over the top. And I danced at the Just Dance stage, and the staff didn't know what I was at first until I asked to dance to 365, and then they saw. So this is a clip of me dancing on the Just Dance stage at PAX, and you can see the actual coach in the background, and I think this costume was pretty damn accurate, especially considering it was my first ever cosplay. So I'm super stoked with how it turned out, and the stage was so much fun. I hope now that COVID's a little bit more settled, we get more conventions and more Just Dance stages in the future. And then this is Kill This Love, probably one of my favorite dances from Just Dance 2020. Super fun to dance to all these previews. And this is what the makeup looked like after a day of walking around the con. Just Dance ANZ's official Instagram posted this photo of me, and then I also posted a YouTube video dancing in this outfit, and the response was absolutely insane, super overwhelming. My videos usually only got maybe 100 views, and then this one got over 300,000 views, and everybody was so positive and lovely and encouraging in the comments. So big thank you if you've ever commented or helped support any of my videos. It's a huge motivation to keep doing all this stuff, so thank you so much. And now here are some clips of cosplay fails and bloopers for you to enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video and you like cosplays, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!